Warm blessings this full moon. Josie here, and welcome to my channel. Here to continue with the Major Arcana explorations. The energies are full, so bear with me, breathe with me, and whatever day that you receive this message, may you listen and breathe as you receive. May you take pause and space from where you are to receive. Deep gratitude. You're always welcome to like, share, subscribe to my channel. And let us begin. We have 3 cards left of the Major Arcana to explore, and today, swiftly comes the Death card. The Death card, of course, is there's much fear sometimes when we see or what is shared within receiving a card that shares such a portentous or horrendous word, a word that means a finality and an ending to things. An ending. And of course, we wish for things to end, is what they're sharing. We wish for things to end. We ask, we pray. They hear so many prayers and requests for certain cycles to end, for certain ways of being to end. But then when we receive a card that affirms that that ending is near, it will naturally then, instead of bringing up the promise that is shared within this card, it will bring up much consternation and, of course, fear. For, of course, we know life, death, right? We know that in a linear line, we understand that we have a lifetime. And once that lifetime is complete, there is death. But the ancestors are speaking. But there are so many additional understandings of death beyond linear time. Think of the times when things are unbound or unwound or unraveled, things that have continued, cycles that are continued and grooved in again and again and again and again and again, that then you had the capacity or felt like the self-power to stop. Write those things down when you receive this card. Acknowledge the things that you have halted and ended and finalized. Acknowledge the shifts of they're like a potential carnage and chaos and like self-combustion that you have halted and stopped. Acknowledge the power of an ending, the power of a closing. Acknowledge that with closing, with allowing those, like the discomfort of an ending. And sometimes endings don't come swift. Even if we think we're like, yes, we make a choice, we make an active choice and comprehensive choice to close and stop something, that then there are the days and the times and the hours and the moments and even the seconds that follow, that then we continue to affirm that end. Woo! that we continue to acknowledge and tend to that death, just as we have learned within society and in our capacity to tend to what lives, to tend to life. There's almost an awareness of, as much as we midwife new life, new birth, new cycles of things that come, to acknowledge, to tend to midwife that those cycles that close, that die, the things that end within. Just as we watch in the seasons, as plants like start to decompose and slowly shift form, right? It takes time for that withering. It takes time for that ending. They're sharing even of like what we are so aware of, the shedding of a snake skin in this snake here. And then, but they're like, it takes time to shed that skin, doesn't it? It's not a quick process. It takes time to slowly allow that skin off. And then that skin that is shed, it slowly over seasons dematerializes and sorts into the dust itself. So there is a process of death, as much as there is a process to life. And as much as we wish to usher in new life cycles, or what we have shared of these rebirths, these transmutative cycles, yes, rebirth can feel like what is promised here. But we must also acknowledge the discomfort of what may be felt to be dying off, and to remain diligent and vigilant in that really slow trot. Like they're almost showing, like, see how like the horse is like, it's like this it's not even a canter. It's just like this gentle trot, right? It is a slow pace through this cycle. And acknowledge that multiple cycles may occur simultaneously, so that we then, what I mean, like new things can happen within a grieving cycle. New things can come and may even feel like then they surmount the importance of what may be laying to rest. But honor that the slowness of that cycle will permeate through like all the other things. Like it will pop up, and then that makes us like irritated, that makes us like aggravated, and feel that, oh, that thing hasn't died off, that thing hasn't ended, because it's still coming up. But they're like, but don't you see, it's just a longer process of decomposition and ending. It's as long a process as the gestation process for new life and new growth. These processes that we wish to be quick and swift are actually immensely beautiful in the grace it gives us, so that we can honor whenever it pops up and moves like surfaces in our mind and in our heart. You know what I mean? Like those old desires, or those old ways that we thought were closed and done, that we can give grace to them and reaffirm. It's not that they have re-begun. Do you see what I mean? It's not that they've re-come up in your life. It's just that they're not there to give you an ugly fright that they're sharing, right? It's simply that parts of the dying process need to be honored and acknowledged. So give yourself space and time to grieve. There's a lot of, like the waters behind, right? as well as, of course, this like divine remembrance, that this is part of a divine cycle, a wondrous cycle, the life, death, rebirth cycle. And in our lifetime, in linear time, we move through multiple life, death, rebirth cycles if we so choose. There's a thing to be very clear with that. If we so choose to. Not everyone chooses to, and that's okay. Whew. We see these, religious figures, these impoverished figures, these figures of also different, like, ages, right? Different ages, all looking in wonder to this gentle, slow trot of death, right? So there is, of course, like we feel such a finality and such a fear. And so, yes, if you wish to process some of the fears around the ending of like that linear time and that of our lifetime in this card, you are more than welcome to. But the prompt here is to acknowledge that just as things grow, things die. And so it is natural, it is a natural cycle of growth to allocate space within your time, like your space and time of your days to grieve the things that we have placed to rest, that we have hoped are done and complete, but also the cherished things that we have laid to rest, the things that we actually held on dear to. There's almost this feeling of like those those beloved ways that we offer the earth, right? Or like, those trinkets that we had, like that you've heard in like old burial mounds, of how that like they receive things for the afterlife, right? The gold and the cups and the coins for safe passage, and like they had like a whole kind of like, just like how you may have like an entourage and a big like chest of riches within life, that there was that same type of honor within that passage, allowing safe passage to the afterlife. And so there's something arising up in that to acknowledge that like sometimes even things that we hold on to, that we like were really good friends or good things within our lives, right? They at times, sometimes those cycles come to an end too. Those things that we really like want to keep, like the gold, like the special stuff. And then so that it's like, remember that the things that you lay to rest could be incredibly cherished, as well as also things that just feel like they are done, they are complete. There is no more life energy to them that you wish to feed to them. There is no more life that you wish to feed to them, okay? And so whatever may be like at the, laying at the feet of this messenger of death within this card, whatever may, like, just acknowledge that you have placed them there with care. You have placed them there with care, and to know to honor the decomposition process. And it may feel at times uncomfortable, and it may bring up much anguish and uncertainty. But to hold close the things that still live, to hold close the things that still live and the things that you have faith in, that renewed faith in, renewed hope in, from those things that are done. There is protected energy in these cycles. There is protected energy in these cycles. Ancestors are here with you to support you in this path. And to acknowledge that sometimes the cycles that you finally choose to close and end in a lifetime may have actually begun way before your lifetime. These might be from ancestral lines, intergenerational shit that you have finally like seen the capacity and the capability to release. So this is like, there's a thing of going, this is solid, protected, safe work. You might even remember these two pillars from the moon card of the tarot. There's something to be aware, and you could look back at that message that was shared with that card too. But this is like, there is a promise of safe passage. There is a promise of safe passage when honoring the dearly departed, be it the things that you have released, the people that you have released from, like given space to from your life, the habits, the old tendencies, the things that like brought up much like alarm and need, like the things that like what is it called? Sorry, I always lose this word. The self sabotage. Yes, like what we have termed as self sabotage. All of these things may be there, and so it's like, instead of in other cards you may be asked to sort through the rubble, but this is to very tenderly and with loving care acknowledge that burial process of what has closed, what has ended. And yes, when you grieve, right, those emotions may shift. It's not just like feeling sadness. When grief also carries so many more things like new beginnings, promise, as well as hope for things, yearning for things. So acknowledge, and you may even wish to document some of the process if you so choose. That seems to be enough for the message today. May you receive what you may, and you're welcome to leave the rest. Deep gratitude for sitting with me and those most beloved of my ancestry. Deep honor for Great Spirit, the cycles of creation. I thank you, I thank you, I thank you. Take care.